What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Triple Option. Got your boy Caden, Dylan, and Tyler. We're here to discuss the Super Bowl recap, and then we're going to kind of go into a way too early fantasy segment, but we'll talk about that a little bit when we get closer to it. Just to recap the Super Bowl, I believe you both had Chiefs +2. I had Niners -2. Depressing, man.
Wait, so I just want to point out that if we went back to our rankings, I probably want like our pre-playoffs picks. I won that, right?
You think so?
Probably.
Oh, like are you talking
So we'd set it up from before the first games even played.
the
Did
thing
it
that Tyler made?
keep going?
Yeah. I didn't have the Chiefs going. I had the Ravens. But Caden didn't have the Super Bowl right at all.
Yeah, I went a little crazy on that.
Tyler, you had the same as me.
Did
but
I had yeah.
Before that.
And we'll have to take a look at that. But while Tyler pulls that up, I mean, Dylan, what did you think of the Super Bowl? Like, fun Super Bowl in the second half.
No, very good Super Bowl. It was very, very good. It sucks the Niners lost. I didn't want the Chiefs to win. It sucks more that they did it to themselves, not knowing the rules. Like, that's crazy.
That's on your coach, man. You gotta.
It's crazy.
And
I did see an interesting. I don't think it changed the game. In the Chiefs' 3 Super Bowl wins, they were not called for a single offensive holding.
Really?
Which is crazy to me.
That is kind of crazy because I saw a highlight of how many times I think his name's Jawan Taylor was holding, but also
he was bear hugging Nick Bosa.
But also, I feel like for the most part, there wasn't any flags. No flags were egregious where I was like,
no, there wasn't anything crazy bad.
The game. There's the one flag I can think of was a holding call on the Niners when Brock Purdy threw that pass deep to Kittle for a first down. Because I mean, it was weird in the third quarter. Constantly, I think for the first 3-4 drives, they would lose 5 to 8 yards on their first play. The Niners, because that's when they lost it. Third quarter.
Yeah.
Third quarter was awful. And I mean, everyone's getting mad at Ray McCloud for that punt fumble, but he should have jumped on it, but it did hit a teammate, so he needed to do something. So he just needed to dive on it, similar to Cam Newton, but we don't got to discuss that.
Just get on. You can if you want.
Yeah, but I don't know if you're the 49ers. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, Brock Purdy, he played well. He's finally not a game manager. Like, he's elite, whatever. I don't think he played that well.
No, he didn't.
I think every pass he had, like, especially to Debo, was, like, at his feet.
Yeah.
He did have some bad passes.
And the yards he got from the Debo throws was Debo just running through everyone.
Yeah, I mean, and Debo only had 33 yards.
Was it Debo that he overthrew for that touchdown too?
Yeah, but that one was Chris Jones was in his face. Chris Jones is insane. Like, he basically made the game-winning plays for both first Josh Allen and the Bills and Brock Purdy and the Niners just by pressure. And the craziest part is Creed Humphreys is a really good center. His snaps were awful all game long.
So bad.
It was kind of nuts. But that does suck because I really feel like the 49ers definitely should have won it. I don't understand. Again, I know the coaching probably didn't understand it, but you win the coin toss in overtime and you kick the ball. You need to kick the ball.
Especially with the new rules.
Yeah, you want to know how much your offense needs. Because they were that opening series, dude. I was busting because I was like, they just kept giving it to C-Mac. I needed one more touchdown.
Dude. He almost broke away too. Oh my gosh.
And if he didn't fumble that first time, he would have had it too.
That would have been another receiving touchdown though. He didn't have any rushing touchdowns.
It does not matter. I needed 2 touchdowns.
I know, but that's kind of surprising. If you told me what's more likely, I would have assumed 2 rushes.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had 80 rushing yards and 80 receiving yards though.
Yeah, it was pretty split.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
It's nuts. We were looking at it like 130 all-purpose yards. No, we're not doing that.
I didn't think you'd get 30 receiving yards.
Yeah, crazy. Also, if you're the 49ers going forward, like, are you confident with Brock Purdy? Because you can make the argument Brock Purdy didn't lose that game, and the Chiefs won that game because their best player on the field is a quarterback. But it seems like a Rams Jared Goff situation where you get there, you realize I don't think I can win this with him, and who would they trade for? They're not going to trade
Fields,
Russell Wilson. Just kidding. They wouldn't do that.
Well, they don't have to trade. They could also go get a free agent as a backup / maybe starter.
Kirk Cousins. I'd called it before.
You got Cousins Dobbs,
would be interesting.
Tannehill, Minshew, Huntley.
I mean, all those guys you named are the same level as Sam Darnold.
True. You also have one more free / cheap year with Purdy because they can't, no matter what, he can't do negotiations this year.
Right.
So I guess you have one more year to be like, okay, let's see what you do your third year. But
yeah, I mean, realistically, I think you run it back. But at some point, they're going to have the discussion, is Kyle just not good enough to close? Like, how – because, like, he's had great success, even playoff success. He's been to the NFC Championship game, 5 times in the last 7 years or whatever?
Yeah.
He's led every time in the Super Bowl by more than 10.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, and, like, I know everyone's bringing up the whole Falcons thing, and he was the OC for that, but it's hard to pin him for that one because the defense gave up a lot. The play calling was suspect, though. But it does look like, Dylan, yes, you were the big winner with 6.
I won.
Tyler had 5. I had 4. But if we get style points, I think that's +3 for me because I was really rooting.
That's +4 for me.
You didn't have any
one
style.
of the Super Bowl teams right.
You had no style.
You should get a minus since both of your Super Bowl teams lost in the first round.
True.
They did, huh? All right, -2. All right, that's fine. I understand. But yeah, I mean, depressing loss for the Niners. Oh man, to have it, that's got to be the worst way to lose a Super Bowl too. You had it and it just slipped out. And then, how depressing is it for Drake Greenlaw, man?
That sucks.
He was.
It was kind of funny to watch it happen in the moment. Like, before you knew what it was, like, did this dude really hurt himself trying to walk onto the field?
Well, when they first started showing the replay, I was like, oh, I wonder if they threw a flag because he got on the field too early.
Yeah.
And then, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of all the hate Tony Romo's getting?
For what?
Just his awful announcing. Like, people are getting mad because of the weird noises he makes. And then during the game-winning touchdown, he talked through the entire celebration when the right way to do it is to, like, let the moment breathe, I guess. I mean,
I think a big part of it was his hot start as an announcer, where he'd be like, oh, so this is what the defense is doing. This is what your offense should do. Right?
Yeah.
And he just got like a ton of like kudos for that. So I think he's still trying to ride that wave and be like, I'm still that guy.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I don't think he's changed at all. I just think people have found him annoying.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
I feel like a lot of people just hated on announcers this year in general. Like, I think Greg Olsen was the only one I really ever saw a lot of positive stuff about. Besides that, everyone was always complaining, like, oh, get this guy on the screen. What's his name's too Al Michaels is too old. Like, just all this crap about everybody. So I'm like, we just sick of all these commentators? Like,
I mean, I hate old people, so I kind of understand that one.
They are all getting old.
It's all old people.
So, real quick, next year, Super Bowl, who you guys got? If you had to place a future bet right now, gun to your head, who is winning the Super Bowl and who's attending?
Eagles, Bills.
And
Eagles by a field goal.
Oh, that's hard. The 3 teams that came to mind real quick were Chiefs, Bills, and Texans for the AFC. It's hard not to say Chiefs. I would prefer Bills. I think it's got to be the Lions in the NFC, though, right?
Oh, you're locking in the Lions.
I think so. I mean, obviously, a lot can change between now, but just thinking about it, I think. think I like the Lions.
Lions versus who?
I'd say Bills or Chiefs, most likely.
Put your balls on the table and make a pick.
It had to stick with Chiefs right now as a more complete team. If the Bills make some moves, I could easily switch to the Bills.
And who wins?
I think the Lions. You don't let the back happen, and so I think Lions.
Okay, I would go. I've talked too much shit on Josh Allen. I can't go Bills. I would go Packers, Bengals. Joe Burrow wins.
Interesting.
The Packers are young. They're young, hungry. The Packers win that division next year.
My only thing about the Bengals is they got to get some of that line figured out. That's supposed to be a good line, and they kind of struggled this year.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I don't know if that's because they had a backup, and maybe they're just used to Joe's like timing. I don't know. That was just their line was interesting this year.
All right. Well, that is the end of the 2023 season. Rest in peace. Let's have a quick moment of silence. Fuck that, because my Super Bowl bets did not hit at all.
The betting was rough. 1 yard from Travis in the first half.
Oh. Yeah, dude.
He covered in the second.
I trailed that with you, Tyler.
That first half one?
Yeah.
Oh, it's $200 because of my two big bets. Oh, it's tough. But
big tough.
How does my wife feel about that?
I mean, it was all from winning, so like I'm just dead even right now.
Now you're average better.
See, I'm up 60. I'm up 60 because I did win that one bet, so I'm up 60.
Nice. All right, so now we are going to move on to our Valentine's Day segment, whatever you want to call it. We're going to do our way too early love fantasy players, and then we're also going to throw in someone we hate next year. And let's say you love someone because you think that maybe they're getting traded to a better situation or they're going to sign with the better situation, or hate because you think they're going to get traded or whatever. Just give some reason on why you love or hate that person. You can do any order you want. Just do QB, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and then maybe throw in a flex. Does that all make sense?
So we're doing a love and a hate for each position?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Tyler, I'm very interested to hear. And let's preface this real quick. In our personal fantasy leagues, Dylan got dead last. Tyler, you got
one of them. In one of them.
Sixth or so.
I think I got fifth.
First round exit though.
Yeah.
I got second, which first loser you could say.
Hey, it's not your first time getting second. You're used to it.
It's not. I am pretty consistent at the second slot, unfortunately. But I do still have that bottle of champagne I bought, and it will not be drank until I win a fantasy championship. And it probably won't ever get drank because once I win it next year, I'm just gonna shake the shit up. It's gonna be sick. All right, Tyler, start us off. Whatever position you want, someone you love and someone you are breaking up with.
Right. Well, that's hard because I've got I know those positions I hate, but they're not the ones I love. Let's start with running back. I love Kyren Williams next year. I think that's a great fit still. I think they're going to rely on him a lot. And with Puka and Kupp both being great receivers, I think they're both there for well. Who is Kupp's still there, right? Next year, no matter what.
I mean, unless he gets traded, yeah.
I guess that's true. I think they're good enough that the defense has to also honor them every play. So I think Kyren will still have a good year. A running back that I'm hating for next year. Can I do a running back situation currently? I think I hate the Eagles running back situation right now.
Okay.
Because Swift he's a free agent, I'm pretty sure. Right?
Yeah. I think
I have no idea.
And so the best you can hope for is maybe a good rookie, or I guess they get the pieces back and just hope you have better play calling and schemes for them.
Yes, he is an unrestricted free agent. I looked that up.
Okay.
Which,
as an Eagles fan, do you want him back?
Now listen, I have a great offer for you.
What?
Miles Sanders.
We watched him walk out that door with a smile.
Yeah, that is
knowing he would never be the guy he was with us.
I will never forgive Scott Fitterer for trading away Christian McCaffrey, because he was making too much, and then paying for like the highest amount for a running back. Not in the league, but in that free agent class.
I just realized I didn't get to do my video since the Niners didn't win. It was you guys have seen the movie with the emotions, the Disney movie. What's that fucking called? It was the part where it's like, "Bing bong, we made it," or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, go ahead." And it was gonna have Cam like slowly disappearing and McCaffrey celebrating as that was playing.
That's crazy.
Wouldn't have found that funny.
I thought it was so good, but now I don't even get to do it.
All right,
Next
Dylan. Love, hate.
So I'm gonna start off with receivers, and I hate Devontae Adams' situation. He's getting older. Vegas is, kind of getting a new coach in the sense that he's now the official head coach. He wasn't able to make hires or anything last year. Quarterback situation, who knows? They gave Garoppolo a boatload of money, and he obviously proved to suck. Aiden O'Connell seems extremely mediocre. They were kind of middle of the pack in the league. I don't know what their draft pick is, but it isn't high enough to go get one of the premier guys. Is it?
Let me check. Keep going though.
I still don't think it's high enough to get one of the. You want Williams or May, essentially. Those are the guys in this draft. I don't know. I don't like it for him. I think that situation's been weird since he went there for Derek Carr, and then they got rid of Derek Carr.
13th overall.
13th, yeah. So that's not going to get you one of the top rookies. But I also don't think he wants to play with a rookie.
Bo Nix would probably be there. Definitely JJ McCarthy. Michael Penix.
But you want May or Williams, really.
Yeah. Well, Daniels too.
That's just Daniels, but I think they both go top 10 pretty easy.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
Receiver I love is DJ Moore. Regardless of what they do at the quarterback position, if they draft Williams, I think it's going to be fun. If they stay with Fields, they're going to add Marvin Harrison, which will draw more attention off of him, and he'll have more reps with Justin Fields.
I would disagree. I think if they take Williams, I love that situation. But if they take Harrison, then I wouldn't love it anymore. Just because it's very rare that you find two receivers on a team that's good enough to produce like a wide receiver 1 or like a low end wide receiver 2. Like the best example you can think about that is T. Higgins, who's been a wide receiver 2 probably consistently in fantasy, except when he gets injured a lot. So I don't know. Like he would be a sneaky late round. Like if you can get him late, it would probably be a good value pick. But if they go Harrison, I don't know. I don't know how that. DJ Moore he never complimented anybody, and which was always my big problem with him. He's great. He's a cheaper Deebo Samuel. He also is healthier than Deebo Samuel, but he's not fast enough to take the top off the defense, and he doesn't necessarily get 2 people to cover him, so he doesn't open up that for anyone else. So I do think that they should add another wide receiver there in Chicago, because I don't know if DJ Moore is a true number 1. I don't know how I got to that point, but that's I know. It could be good. I'm just giving my opinion.
Did I fucking ask?
Fair enough. What do you think about that, Tyler?
I'll change my picks. I have Moore as my hate receiver currently, just because if they keep Fields doesn't throw for a lot of yards a season, so you might get good games from Moore, but you're not going to get an overall great season. And if they do go get Harrison, I think he takes away a ton from Moore. I think you go after him since he's a rookie. I think you pass to him, see what you got. You want to play him. You drafted him. So I don't like Moore next year just because he either has a bad QB or he's got a rookie receiver taken from him. So,
and then let's not also forget. Did you guys see the dress Caleb Williams was wearing? Now listen, I love everybody. Everyone do whatever they want.
Doesn't affect the way he plays football.
I would argue it does. I think maybe not the way he plays, but the way the locker room views him. Okay, the NFL is very homophobic, and they will call that on that. I know that. I know they will. And if you paint your nails, you cuddle with your cat, and you wear dresses, I don't think that's going to go well in Chicago. Maybe Washington will love it. You can go to Washington, Chicago. Don't think so. I wouldn't want Caleb Williams. He's a bust.
I'm willing to bet Williams does not end up in Chicago. Chicago may still get a quarterback, but it's not going to be Williams.
You don't think so?
No, I think there's a good chance Chicago trades down to the second or third, which either they take the receiver or they go one of the other quarterbacks, depending on what they get. Because in my head right now, if you can trade down, get this year's first, I wouldn't want next year's first, but 2025's first, a receiver, you take a quarterback with this year's first pick.
Bro, if the Bears do end up trading that pick, we will see a record-setting trade for him because of all the hype for Caleb Williams. Well, no matter what, Caleb Williams goes 1-1. What are they?
How would you feel? So Commanders have the second pick, right?
Right.
What if the Commanders gave up? Obviously, they do the pick swap, so you get the second pick, you get a receiver, Terry McLaurin, why not? And then you get 2024 and 2025's first round pick.
I don't know if that would be enough. I mean, I like the idea of it. I would have to look at Terry's contract as well. But the other part of that is if someone comes in and offers you a second round pick for Justin Fields, you have to say yes to it. And then
Well, that could be separate because if you're switching with Washington, you can still go get a quarterback this year. You got another receiver.
Better, yeah.
If you get Terry, you got a receiver alongside Moore. Like, then if you have next year's and a 2025 pick, if you don't like your quarterback, doesn't work out, you can go draft another one and you can still get rid of Fields. Like, I think Washington is a perfect trade candidate because you still stay high, but you can probably get a ton.
Yeah, everyone, because of the Cliff Kingsbury hire, is putting the dots to Caleb Williams to Washington. And so it'll be interesting to see. My love-hate, I will just go with the tight ends. The one that I'm going to hate on a little bit is TJ Hawkinson. And I am very open with this could change. Obviously, they have the best receiver in the game currently with Justin Jefferson, but we don't know what's happening with Kirk Cousins. Obviously, when they had Josh Dobbs threw him 400 times, and he got injured, so it wasn't sustainable. If Kirk Cousins is gone and they get a rookie, I usually do like a rookie quarterback with a good, reliable target like Hawkinson, but also you just never know with rookie quarterbacks. So I wouldn't say I necessarily hate Hawkinson, but he's on my back burner. Late round pick, like, would be where I would target him at. And another side note with that, I also don't like Kittle next year. I think he's getting old, and I wouldn't be shocked if the 49ers find a way to move on from him. His blocking is such an asset. He was the best tight end in the NFL, overall tight end in the NFL, and the first team All-Pro that he got was well-deserved. But I think you could probably get some good interest from like a team like Washington or Chicago or even the Patriots, where they plan on pairing a young quarterback with a George Kittle because he's an ultimate vibes guy, and he's always going to have your quarterbacks back no matter what. The way that man defends CJ Beathard is nuts. Beathard is ass. Did beat the Panthers like 30-0 though. So fun fact. Thanks, CJ. My absolute love. It's hard to not just say Laporta again because I want all 9 inches of Laporta, bro. I want it all. Greatest pick of all time. But I'm going to have a sneaky one for you guys next year. This one also depends on quarterback, but I want Michael Mayer out of Vegas. I was sneaky high on him, unrightfully so, this year. I thought about picking him up a couple of times because I thought he was going to have a couple sneaky games, but I just like the way he plays. I like the way he blocks. I don't know. I think
it reminds me of a Kittle.
Yeah, like a young Kittle. And so that would be my sneaky pick, that if you could get, like I did with Laporta in the last round of the draft, that he has potential to be a top 5 tight end next year.
That'll depend on if they get a quarterback, he might go up in the draft. But if they don't, he'll be there at the end.
If they got like a Bo Nix or Michael Penix, guys that are a little bit more older, a little more experienced. Bo Nix slangs that thing around. Then I would definitely, I think Penix would be such a perfect landing spot for the Raiders.
Not bad, actually. I hate that.
Any comments on mine, Dylan, since I kind of...
I'm actually going to piggyback off of yours with my tight ends.
Okay.
Tight end I did not like was also George Kittle.
Ah.
For the same, I think
I'm going to change mine now because we all had Kittle.
He's in an offense where he's going to get lost. And
we saw that on Sunday.
Yeah. He had 4 yards.
Yeah. 2 receptions.
And what I'm looking at right now, he's the tight end 4, which your number 1 tight end should not be getting 1 catch for 4 yards.
He's a great NFL player. Terrible.
Great NFL player. I think on any other team, almost, he would be amazing.
I would love George Kittle in Carolina.
Yeah. With the Niners, he's not good. Just not for his position. But on top of that, the tight end I do really like is Evan Ingram. I think he was that guy for Trevor Lawrence a lot this year, especially when Christian Kirk was out. With Calvin Ridley, he's restricted free agent, so he might be leaving.
Is he restricted or unrestricted?
He's restricted free agent.
Damn, bro. I thought he was unrestricted.
No, he's restricted. So I don't know. I think you see, and he was like top 3 tight end last season.
It was.
I mean, he had over 100 catches.
Was he only top 3 though because it felt like those Jaguar receivers were so hot or cold week to week?
But he was consistent.
Yeah, he was consistent.
But I love that because I also have a hard on for Trevor Lawrence, whether it's good or not. But that's a great pick in my opinion, and I was hoping that would go under the radar. But good work.
I'm coming for second to last this year.
You know what? Here, I'll continue with the tight ends. Let's just get them out of the way. I love Kincaid next year, mainly because Josh Allen likes his tight ends, and he may not have anyone else to throw to next year, depending on how tensions go in the offseason. Gabe Davis is definitely gone. Diggs wants out, so if they let him out, we'll see. And so I like him as at least a solid player just because he might be the only one they're throwing to that's not a rookie. This is hard because he's not a bad tight end in the NFL, and he's not bad in fantasy. But when it comes to drafts, I feel like Andrews is drafted way too high.
Really?
Especially look what they were able to get done without him this year. I think they kind of know that. And so I think they would be more willing next year to go away from him and go to Likely if it just seems like Andrews is drawing a lot of attention on the field. It's kind of like with Kittle, and when you have Kittle and Gray out there, like Gray had some great catches just because they were so focused on Kelsey. I said Kittle, I meant Kelsey. They were so focused on Kelsey that Gray would get some great catches. I could see them kind of doing something like that where you kind of distract with Andrews and go towards Likely more. Now, if Andrews falls to like round 4 or 5, then he's a great value. But I think they have him at 2nd or 3rd round, and that's way too high for.
Yeah, I like that pick too. I like the idea of it being like an Aaron Hernandez and Gronk situation in New England. Yes, Hernandez is a killer, but he was a damn good tight end. Okay.
Peace.
He was a good. You said rest in peace, but I think the Ravens have 2 options. I've never really known the Ravens. They've always had a good tight end. They've never necessarily had 2 good tight ends. Isaiah Likely might be playing up to the standard where they can trade Andrews, who's more expensive and good value. So wouldn't be shocked if we saw like a Darren Waller type move. Yeah,
would be.
And so I wouldn't be shocked if he got traded. I'm going to go ahead and do quarterbacks. The one I love next year,
Oh, who is it?
Jordan Love. Jordan Love.
You only had them going to the Super Bowl next year.
I don't know what it is. He just throws so pure, and it makes me just wish that we had such a good quarterback that Bryce Young could sit behind and learn, because everyone was shitting on the Packers. Why would you draft him? Why would you draft him? He looks so good. He looks talented. Like the fact that man went to Utah State blows my mind. Like obviously,
did he go there Did he transfer there? I don't think he started there, right?
I think he transferred.
Started at a junior college, I
Yeah.
think, and then transferred to Utah State.
I just think the way he slings that thing, bro. Oh my god, it's just pretty. It's pretty. And a quarterback that I'm always wrong about, that I always hate, and I probably will never draft, and I'm wrong for it, is Lamar Jackson. I know it's bad. I always go in never wanting Lamar. I never take Lamar, whether it's because I think he's going to get injured or I just don't like. It might be because I don't like watching Lamar Jackson play, and I don't like watching the Ravens play. And I had to watch him a lot because of Zay Flowers. But Lamar did prove me wrong last year. He is 100% a passing quarterback. He's great. He's mobile. He's a good quarterback. I don't have a good reason why I hate him, but I do.
I used to agree with you. Every year I'd be like, oh, why would you draft Lamar? Why would you draft Lamar? And then this year I told myself when Lamar was there, I was like, I'm going to draft him and see how it goes. Season went okay. He had some games that he won me games. Other games was like, wow, where was he this week? If he doesn't rush for over 30 yards a game, you definitely notice in fantasy because you're like, oh, I'm missing, like that 5-6 extra points that puts him over 20 every week. And so I kind of agree with the hate. After drafting him, I wouldn't say I love him, but I no longer hate him. I'd be okay having him.
Yeah. Hate is such a strong word for this, but it is Valentine's Day thing. Breakup. That's what we should call it.
Yeah.
I'm breaking up with Lamar even though I've never had him.
Fair enough.
I'll do my running backs. One I love is Rachaad White.
Ooh,
I think he's going to step up. I think Baker comes back. That offense gets a little bit better. Just continuity, having reps together. I think it's always
coordinator.
Good. Huh?
Lost their offensive coordinator.
It happens.
OC.
He's going to get fired in about 3 weeks.
Did they hire? I think they promoted somebody.
Yeah.
He's going to get fired in 3 weeks and he'll come back as an assistant to Tampa Bay.
No.
That would be hilarious, honestly.
I think he's interesting, especially because he's not even a top 10 running back draft-wise right now.
He was number 1, though, in fantasy for a couple weeks.
He was, and he's number 11 on the rankings right now.
That is crazy.
That's a good pick.
So I really like him for that included. The one I do not like is Ramondre Stevenson. Patriots don't seem like they know what they're doing. There's rumors they're trading their first-round pick instead of getting a quarterback. Yeah. There's rumors they're trying to trade out of it.
Wow. They must be targeting Justin Fields, Russell Wilson.
I think I heard Justin Fields. I heard Mayo or someone likes Justin Fields.
Interesting.
Which it's hard. If they end up going with a rookie quarterback, I still struggle taking a running back if they have a rookie quarterback.
That's fair.
Their production seems to dip a lot. I mean, Miles Sanders, not to beat a dead horse, but Miles Sanders, he was really good. He was pretty damn good in Philly. He was 1,000-yard
went from the best offensive line in the league to the worst offensive line in the league. So as much as I hate Miles Sanders, but Chuba, the thing is, I do hate Miles Sanders because Chuba made the offensive line look much better. Miles Sanders just looks lazy. I hate Miles Sanders.
I just think, but Chuba Hubbard could be way better if he didn't have Bryce Young, if he had a solidified veteran quarterback. That's just my opinion. I rarely take running backs that have a rookie quarterback.
Interesting. Okay.
There. I don't think I ever really paid attention to that.
Yeah, I think they're both. Stevenson's also coming off of, was it a knee injury?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was a little banged up during the season.
Well, he never came back, and so that's a good pick. All right, Tyler. Tyler, you've done what? Your tight end
and running back. We'll go receiver here. I'm really excited to see how Tank Dell does. Year 2 is usually the breakout year, and he already was kind of having a breakout year before his injury. And when you just hear about how Stroud talks about him, you just know he's going to be getting that ball from Stroud because even hurt, and they had him over the Super Bowl interviews, they had him do a dream team that he could play with all time. And most of them were older dudes, and then he threw Tank Dell in there. And so,
Really?
like, yeah. And so I was like, I think he's really gonna. I think he missed him, and so I think they're really gonna try to scheme that towards him. Someone I hate is Diggs. I don't like Diggs just because
Wow.
he didn't get anything this year, and even on plays that like he was wide open and they were great passes, it just seemed like he didn't know how to catch a ball, hold on to a ball, or like when he had open space and he caught it, it felt like I don't know if he was scared of injury or what, but like he always just went down. It didn't seem like he tried to get any yards after the catch. And so I'm like, I don't know if that's him just like trying to look bad so he gets out of there or
Like he's done that his whole career though. I've never seen him angry run. I feel like he's always gotten out of bounds.
maybe it's just
Like, I
the
don't
big
feel
splash
good.
plays that we were missing this year that made it seem like he got a lot more yards. So I don't know. I feel like next year's iffy for him because as soon as he gets a game where he doesn't get any attention, if he stays with the Bills, he's just going to be frustrated the rest of the season. I'm not high on him.
Yeah. No, the only thing I have, Tank Dell did break his whole ass leg. That's a pretty big injury. And so I definitely wouldn't reach for Tank Dell. He would be more of someone that would be like a sleeper that could win you a league. He could
Hopefully
definitely,
everyone forgets about him.
yeah, he could definitely be a league winner. And Diggs, yeah, but if Diggs goes to like the Chiefs or something, you're telling me you're not squirting and drafting him in round 2?
I think definitely if he gets traded, you are. But what are the chances he gets traded?
I mean, I don't even know. I just can't wait for 10 years down the road. It probably will be like a year or 2 after he retires where he goes on somebody's podcast and just airs that out. And like
Everything.
so at some point, like him or Gabe Davis is going to come out and say Josh Allen calls him the N-word or something. And that's gonna come out.
That's
I
one
don't-
hell of a take.
Yeah, it's. But then y'all will remember I said that. But
The
if
question
that
is,
ever
what is Diggs worth? If he does get traded, like, is he worth a lot?
I mean, it depends his contract situation. I don't know how old he is. I think he's damn near 30. I still think you could probably get a second round for him, especially for a team that like thinks they're just right there. Like if
Green
because I
Bay's
think
a sneaky
like
spot.
a sneaky. You said where?
Green Bay.
So Green Bay would be a good spot. I also think Detroit would be a sneaky spot because I think they're going to end up moving on from Jameson Williams because he just hasn't been it. And obviously they need someone besides the Sun God, Amon Ra, and they saw because if they would have been in the Super Bowl if Josh Reynolds could make a catch on 4th and 3.
True.
Stephon Diggs can do that. So that'd be sneaky scary. Sneaky.
That would be
scary.
I don't hate that.
Yeah. I'll do my we'll do my receivers. We'll just stick with the receivers. One that I hate is Jalen Waddle. He has those, games where they're triple covering Tyreek Hill and he'll have 5 catches for 53 yards and a touchdown, which is solid flex play. But he is so up and down. I don't even necessarily think it's him. My opinion has completely flipped on Tua as well. I think Tua is garbage, and I think the smartest thing the Dolphins can do is somehow trade for Dak Prescott because I think that is a match made in heaven. If they could get if the Cowboys decide that because of the playoff games and the little success and how expensive he is, if they decide to move on to like a Matthew Stafford kind of deal, I think the Dolphins would just be so perfect.
Wouldn't you rather test out Kirk than go trade for Dak? Why not test out Kirk for a season? You see how he throws to Jefferson. Imagine Kirk with Waddle and Hill.
No, for sure.
Jefferson's different than Hill, though.
That's true.
They're different receivers. Both great, but they're different.
I think with Tua, the lack of movement in the pocket and the running and everything would make them want to move on to someone who is a little more athletic, who you don't have to worry about dying on the field every other play if he gets
maybe
hit.
less concussions.
Yeah, and so that's why I would say Dak Prescott because he is more athletic and he's not afraid to on 3rd and 3 if he has to go run a dude over and get the first. Tua will instantly slide if he needs to. Kirk Cousins, he'll do his little dive thing. It's also because I think Kirk Cousins and the 49ers is just is going to happen. I really just think that's going to happen.
It would be interesting.
Yeah. And I have a receiver that I love, regardless of whatever team he ends up on. Marvin Harrison Jr. is just going to be a baller, dude. I don't care if he has Justin Fields chucking it up to him.
Kyler might be his quarterback.
Who?
Kyler Murray?
Dude, I don't care if it's K1. I don't care if it's just. I don't care if it's McCorkle Jones. Brother, he is going to be insane, and I pray that he beats his wife or something comes out that he falls to the second round. Spend a year in jail. I
His
don't
dad's
care.
name will get him drafted in the first round.
Yeah, bro. Just beat your wife and somehow fall the first pick of round 2. Come to Carolina and make a new dynasty.
That's crazy.
I think he's going to be electric.
I agree. He's going to be good, but I think people are going to be like you hyping it up. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow he gets drafted in round 2 or 3 of fantasy.
Oh, I wouldn't take him round 1. Don't get me wrong. And,
I think Bijan proves you don't take most rookies round 1 because
Bijan didn't have a bad season.
he had bad
He was
second
up and
half.
down.
he had a good first half season.
Nobody expected them to use Bijan like that. I don't think.
But
many
that's what I'm
people
saying.
would.
Everyone's thinking they're going to use Harrison amazingly. What if
As a
he's just
GM,
number-
I dumped his contract. I knew he wasn't him.
That's fair.
That's crazy.
All right, what do we got next, Dylan?
Finish it off with my quarterbacks. Sneaky one I like is Kyler Murray. He's got more time to work with the offense there. It's Gannon's the head coach there, right? He's the defensive guy. He's going to fix the defense, which was always the Cardinals' problem before. They were way better than they should have been last year. I think they go get a good receiver. They keep
Who?
Hollywood Brown,
Who?
and I think they're going to be a lot better. Trey McBride, surprise.
That one probably
Good
should have been on
tight end.
my tight end list.
He was really good. I mean, I like his situation a lot. I mean, who knows?
Are the Cardinals picking 4?
Yeah, that's why they have Harrison going to
I
him.
was gonna
All
say,
quarterbacks
yeah.
and first receiver.
Because I don't think there's any way in hell they keep Marquise Brown.
No, when you can go get a Higgins, a Pittman, and Evans, even Ridley, like I don't know if you stay with Brown. If you can go get those guys and have a rookie
I think the
receiver,
relationship there is unfixable.
you can go get
I mean,
Slant God
that's an
Thomas.
opinion.
Is Michael Thomas slot boy? Is he a
Yeah,
free agent?
he's a free agent. So it's DJ Chark, man. DJ Chark.
Quarterback I dislike, and a big part of it is his draft position right now. ESPN has him as the QB8. Anthony Richardson.
Ooh.
Fair.
We watched him this season put his life on the line, which
For
obviously,
Fantasy points.
4 games.
huh?
For fantasy points. Like he put his life on the line, gaining more, you know.
But I mean, if he's only playing 4 games, is he worth a top 10 quarterback? No.
Electric.
And we don't know who he's throwing to.
And that's another thing. We don't know who he's throwing to. His offensive line seemed shaky at best last year most of the time.
That
I
line sucked.
I don't hate that.
I just don't like how high he's being drafted. He's the QB8 on ESPN. That's what I don't like.
The thing with him though is like he is also 100% a league winner, and is it worth like taking the risk if he is healthy and he does throw for a touchdown, rush a touchdown in, throw for 250 yards a game, and rush for let's say 30? Like that would be pretty nuts.
What scares me is they paid Jonathan Taylor, and knowing Jim Irsay's a big feed Jonathan Taylor guy. So I feel like you're going to have those games where it's like, hey, Jonathan Taylor hasn't been touching a lot. Just feed him the whole game.
Do we think Jim Irsay will be alive for the season?
I mean, he pulled through whatever he had, and apparently they thought he was a goner. So I think we got him again.
Okay.
But his daughter was on the sidelines most of this season. I think she's kind of ramping up to take over soon. So that should be interesting.
All right, Tyler, what's your last category?
So I do have some honorable mentions after this last category, but mine's also quarterback. One I love, I'm gonna stick with Stroud. He looked really good. I think the biggest thing that sells me on Stroud is the low interceptions. And the fact that his OC chose to stay, get another year with that.
Did he choose to stay? I don't think he was offered a job.
I think he was.
He went and interviewed and he wasn't offered anything.
I don't think he was ever offered, but it's also not a bad place to stay.
It's true. That's true. A quarterback I hate. We'll stick with the rookies. We just hating on rookies, I guess. Currently, I don't like Young's situation just because I don't like the receivers there. If they get better receivers, that changes my idea completely, and he might even be a sneaky take if they get better receivers. But right now, I just feel bad for Young because he is a good quarterback. He's just in a terrible, terrible situation.
The worst part is I see CJ Stroud defending Bryce Young tooth and nail, and I just want to hate CJ Stroud. Not because of him, but because of my franchise who said he wasn't good enough to be the 1-1. So I want to hate him because of my guys, but him and Bryce Young are such good friends. And I just want to be a part of that. And, I'm from Houston, so I should like him.
Well, and I want to hate him because he's in my division, but he's a
cool
dude.
Need to hate him. You need to hate him. It's weird that you don't.
Dude, all his interviews, he's made me like him more. I was like, dang, he's such a cool dude. It's hard to hate him.
Yeah, those are pretty solid. Bryce Young is going to be sneaky next year, I think, if they give him T. Higgins and Mike Evans and Marquise Brown and trade for Mark Andrews and maybe Stephon Diggs.
Dang.
That's a lot.
It's not too much to ask for. We don't have any
first round pick for it.
We don't have
when they don't get any of those guys, we're clipping this. Not even one.
My last is running backs, and the one that I've hated like ever since post 2019 has been Derrick Henry. I don't think his style of run has a place in the future NFL. I do think he is an underrated receiving tight or running back, but you only ever see him on screen plays on first and second down. I don't think he has a job on third downs anymore. He's obviously he's older. He's going into a situation. I can't really think of any situations where running backs change teams and they get better. I can't think of one situation actually.
I feel like he's going to be an Eagle or a Patriot.
You said what?
McCaffrey.
He stayed the same. He stayed the same. He was really good with us. He just hurt a lot. That's funny. That's so funny.
I wasn't trying to be rude, but
I mean,
that's a good
point. I just would argue he's been equally as good. Tyler, you said you think he's going to be a Patriot
or an Eagle. I like either one of those.
I think it's Baltimore or the Cowboys.
I think it's Dallas.
Yeah. But my love, this is going to be an interesting one. It's going to blow your guys' mind. Najee Harris. Okay.
Ooh.
Allow me to explain myself.
Cut it right now.
Arthur Smith, 2019. What did he do with Derrick Henry? He should have been the MVP that year. Was it 19? I really think it was
19 or 18.
Yeah. The 2K yards or whatever.
He's done that a couple
Najee
times.
Harris is a very similar back, but he is better at receiving. The only problem with that is Warren is behind him, and Warren is a game-changing running back.
They like Warren.
They do. And if, let's say, they get rid of Najee, then just pretend like I would have said Warren and the same things go for that. Or if they get rid of Warren, then I like it even better. I think he is a sneaky play next year, and I think he could possibly be a league winner just because of he still has the potential. He really turned on that last half of the season. And as bad as Arthur Smith is at being a head coach, and you can even say offensive coordinator because he's not dynamic, Najee Harris has a chance to get 20 touches per game next year.
Do you still like him if they go get Fields? Because Smith has come out saying he likes Fields.
Yeah, I don't think Arthur
Jackson
Smith
at all?
has any pull on quarterback there whatsoever. I think, yeah, I don't care. Even if Fields, I would even argue it's better because you have to account for Fields' legs, and you can't just carry the ball. You run a little read option, RPO. That's the only thing Justin Fields is good at is RPO, and usually just the R on all that. So
No,
Yeah.
Najee's definitely that's an interesting guy. I wouldn't have expected that, but
Yeah,
I don't hate it.
yeah,
Don't love it, but I don't hate it.
is and obviously I think David Montgomery's a free agent too. I think he's going to get
No.
paid somewhere. He's not.
No, he signed a 3-year deal with the Lions.
Did he?
Yeah.
That's why everyone was so pressed to why they drafted Gibbs.
Damn, you're right. Yeah. Never mind. Cut that, Bryant. Thanks, bro.
Oh, see our editor now?
Yeah.
Time out. You've been having Brian edit your videos, and I'm struggling doing mine.
No, I haven't had him
No.
do anything.
Oh, so
It
you're
was
lying.
it was a joke from the
Yeah.
stream. Yeah.
We did a stream on Sunday, and we were just talking about gambling. And every time we had a question, Bryant would answer it in the chat. So we hired him.
He's our new mod.
Yeah. But that's. Oh wait, you have some honorable mentions, Tyler?
I do have some honorable mentions. So I have two that I love, and one of them is Bijan. Just because I feel like
You're
he
falling in
may
the
get
trap
used.
again, huh?
Well, one, I think people will be a little hesitant with how they saw him play last year. I don't think he'll drop too far, but I think he'll drop far enough that it's like, if I need this as my second running back or even my third running back, I think that's a great
You
pickup.
think he falls to someone could draft him as an RB3? You think he gets out of the second?
He's not falling that far. That's a crazy.
He doesn't
I-
get out of the second round.
You don't think so?
No.
No.
Who are they? Who's their head coach?
Raheem Morris.
Ooh, that's a defensive guy.
Well, that's why I was hoping. I was like, just the situation. It's not like it kind of improved, but at the same time, I feel like I guess I'm more hoping that people think, you know what, he wasn't really used that well last year. Maybe there's someone better right now.
Okay, and you're next.
And then this one's more of a homer one, but Richardson, just because if the Colts do the right thing and maybe go get 2 wide receivers, we will have a better year if he can stay healthy. But my biggest thing is he tries to do too much.
Who are these receivers you think you're getting?
I think they tag Pittman.
As they should. He's really. If he hits the open market, I hope the Panthers give him the Brinks, dude.
I think they tag him, and then I hope they go get another receiver. He needs someone else next to him. And there's enough out there that like anybody they bring in's got to help a little bit. So
Yeah.
The two I hate Evans' situation. Just
Mike
because,
Evans?
yes,
You don't even know what team he's playing for.
that's true. But I have a feeling he's going back to Tampa. And the only reason I don't like that is those last few weeks with Tampa, he just wasn't there. And I don't know if it was a Baker thing, because it didn't even seem like Baker was looking his way. As someone who had him on fantasy, when I watched those games, he got 3 looks a game and he caught those 3 balls, and sometimes had touchdowns, sometimes didn't. And so I'm worried that if he stays, Baker still might not look his way, and I don't know what's going on there.
Didn't he tear up the Eagles in the playoff game, Dylan?
Who?
Mike Evans?
I think he had one big catch, is what it was.
Yeah,
It was,
and it wasn't even a touchdown. It could have been a touchdown, but it wasn't.
Oh, really?
yeah, it was the
Yeah.
like third string Trey Palmer or whatever. He had like a ton of yak.
Yeah. Okay.
And
the
then-
first-
His only good games were when Godwin was hurt or wasn't playing. And
See,
so
that's
that's
what
all,
I was gonna say. I'm staying away from Godwin
yeah. And
because
so, and also, the Bucks might lose their center. Their center's a free agent.
well, the Bucks are gonna look super different next year, as most teams will. But like,
Yeah.
there's no shot they can run the same team back. And Chris Godwin is not a good wide receiver one, especially if Mike Evans leaves. So that'll be a tough situation for sure.
I think. My last one was Austin Eckler. I don't think that needs a lot of explanation. I
I don't think he's going to be a Charger next year. Yeah,
don't think he's a Charger, and I don't think anywhere he goes he really improves much.
yeah. I do think whoever the Chargers do get, sneaky Saquon Barkley, because of how Jim Harbaugh is, I think that is a good situation.
I like Saquon there.
Yeah.
Do we think Jacobs goes anywhere? Josh Jacobs?
I think he gets tagged.
Put Josh Jacobs in an Eagles uniform, and I'll be a happy man.
Dude, I think the perfect thing for the Eagles would be Saquon Barkley if they could pull that off.
I don't think we'll be able to get him. I think
Dude,
the
like a
Chargers will give him a lot of
DeMarco
money.
Murray thing. Oh. But this time it
He
works out.
sucked for the Eagles.
I know,
Go
but
get
that's
Pollard.
just like the in division thing.
Go get Tony Pollard. He's an
Tony
Eagle.
Pollard
no.
is still going to be a Cowboy, I think.
You think
He's
he's stay?
getting
I don't know if the
tagged.
Cowboys
I think-
want him.
I think the Cowboys would be like, hey, man, we're going to get Derrick Henry. You're going to go back to what the rule you had with when Zeke was here. That's going to be perfect.
Which Pollard's gonna hate because Pollard was on, I think it was McAfee's show, and he wants to get paid.
Yeah, he's not getting paid.
Oh no, he's definitely not. But the way he was talking is he wants to get paid. I'm like,
He didn't even know his defensive coordinator was gone.
yeah. When I was like, bro,
It was like 3 days
Wow.
later. Yeah, nuts.
you can tell he does not talk to the defensive side or care about the
Yeah.
defensive side at all. Because they even asked him, they're like, "Oh, was he a good coach?" Now that know he's gone. He's like, "Yeah, I think so." He didn't even know his name probably.
Crazy. All right, don't you have any honorable mentions for us? You're all good?
No.
Yeah, it is way too early. We'll probably do this a couple of times throughout the off season. Just a reminder, we do post twice a week now. We'll usually have our NBA come out on Thursday. Sometimes we might switch it to Tuesday, just depending what's going on. But Thursday, what are we doing, Dylan? Probably a All-Star game preview. or
All-Star
something like
weekend
that.
stuff.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that, and we appreciate you guys watching.
Peace.